Hey everyone, welcome to Cupboard Creations. My name is Gareth and this is my little corner of the internet for playing with my food. Today I'm doing a bit of party food for you. What with the run up to Christmas and New Year, it's perfect time to do this. And it's lovely to have these little bits around that you can just eat, even over Christmas if it's not a party, just for yourself. Perfect. So these are my Welsh Rarebit Scones. I absolutely love these. For me, you've got cheese on toast, you've got Welsh Rarebit. Maybe it's my heritage speaking, but absolutely brilliant. So we're going to combine those into a scone. That way, again, it's just what pick up, start eating. You don't need to fill it with anything. It's got bags and bags of flavour in it. So we're going to start by getting yourself a good kind of strong cheddar, and you just want to grate away. You're going to need about 130 grams. So I'm about halfway there. I'll just keep going. Okay, so that's my cheese done. Now we can get that out of the way and we can start to prep some other bits. So let's grab a big bowl, and for this bit we're just going to make the kind of typical scone thing but with a little bit extra. So you want 225 grams of self-raising flour, which I've measured out earlier so that you don't have to watch me spending ages trying to get it to the last gram. Then a teaspoon of baking powder. And that's nice and easy. So we'll just pop that in there. There we go. And then a good pinch of salt. So probably about half a teaspoon's worth. Just pop that in there. Lovely. And then all you're going to do is give that a good mix around. So just to combine it. Absolutely perfect. Knock any big lumps out of it. You could just sift this in there, but for me, the way it works with you in a minute, you'll see, you're going to be kind of running your fingers through it all the time anyway, so you're going to knock all of the lumps out, and actually you're going to create some more. So get that just nicely mixed through. Then you want to grab yourself 50 grams of butter. Now you want to get little bits of this, just drop it all in there, so break some bits off. So there we go. There's some lumps, and then just, yeah, with your fingers, kneading it through. So there you go, just kind of really pushing it between your fingers, just keep working it. Take a good few minutes. And eventually you'll start to see, instead of these big kind of lumps of butter and flour like that, it will all kind of really spread itself out. So there we go. It's only take me a couple of minutes, but that's just where I want it. Big lumps, you get in the odd bit every now and again, but they break up. One of the easiest ways to tell is how your hands come out. When you started, covered in flour. At this point, you can kind of squeeze it between your fingers, give it a little bit of a knockout, and your hands come out. It's much, much easier to come off. So now, cheese. Now you've got 130 grams of cheese here. You want 100 grams of it in here. So pop that in there. Just leave yourself a little bit. That's going to kind of decorate the tops of them later. Look really, really good. So yeah, leave yourself just under a quarter of it. And then just mix that cheese through. So now you want a well in the center. We can start adding the wet ingredients. So we're going to need 100 ml kind of dark ale for this one. To be fair, they are much harder to come by these days. Everything's a bit more light and summery. So if you can't find it, good amber ale will do. Something like a Tribute. Anything that's got some really good flavour to it. So I've got a nice Bishop's Finger from Kent, which is perfect for this. So you just want 100 ml. Now, you'll always have the problem when pouring the beer, trying to get to the 100 ml might take you a few goes. The foam kind of stops you judging it. So we'll sit that there and we'll kind of watch it until it pulls down, and then we can judge that we've got the right amount. Okay, that's settled down now. So I know there's 100 ml. So the rest of it can be the chef's little tipple. Lovely. Now to that beer, you're just going to add a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Absolutely awesome stuff. Again, you're adding in bags and bags of flavour. So pop a teaspoon in there. like so. And then that is my wet ingredients, a real kind of dark mix. You know it's going to taste great. So we're just going to pour that into the middle and then slowly just start bringing it all together until you've got a dough. So there we go. Now got a nice ball of dough, absolutely perfect. So now we can pop this to the side, if I've got room somewhere. There we go. Grab yourself something. I mean, if you've got a slightly bigger kitchen, you can just go straight to a clean work surface. Unfortunately, I don't have enough room. So we can still do it. So now you've got your ball of dough, just gonna knead it a bit. You might need to dust a little bit of flour. So keep yourself raising, that's a little bit. Just give it a little dust. And then just knead it for a couple of minutes. So just keep pushing it through. Doesn't need a lot for these. You're not having to kind of bake full-on bread with it, which kind of makes it so much easier. You just look until we got a nice good ball with a bit of a shine on it. Okay, so now I've got this lovely ball of dough, slight shine to it. I've only literally been kneading it for probably 2 minutes. That's all it needs. Not a lot. We're not making big gluten strands. We're not doing bread. We're making a nice scone. So now just a light dusting again, just to stop anything sticking. And then we're going to spread that out, grab ourselves a rolling pin. We're going to roll that out to a nice round. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to cut stuff out of it, so don't worry. Just get it to about 2 centimeters thick, or just slightly under that. And that'd be lovely. Perfect. So about the width of a finger should do it. Now, find yourself, because you've put it down somewhere and lost it, your cutter, any size you want. You know, to me, I'm doing about, I think this is, if I haven't rubbed all of the writing off it, about a 2-inch kind of cutter. So that's going to probably make about a dozen of these, but any size you like. If you want to go a little bit smaller, you want like real party food, like tiny little morsels, go for it. If you can find a cutter small enough, brilliant. So we're just going to start cutting these out. So just be quite delicate when you're pushing them through, because if you end up with collapsing one side of it slightly, you'll just get a slightly different size rise in the oven. You'll get things that are a bit on the wonk. So there we go. I've got 9, but I've got quite a lot of pastry still. The great thing, again, just push it back together again. Unlike, you know, puff, when you try and do that and suddenly you've broken all of the layers and it's not as good. This one doesn't matter. So just give it a quick knead to bring it properly together. Spread it out a bit and get some extras out. Okay, great. So now just transfer to a baking tray. Try and spread them out a bit. You don't want them kind of too together. Otherwise you end up with one giant scone. So we should be able to fit a good couple on each tray. To be fair, I've done actually slightly more than a dozen on this. So I'm guessing I may have rolled it out a little bit too thin. So with any luck, if you get a dozen, yours will rise a bit better. But these are still going to be fine. So there we go. You can pop those nicely on 2 trays. Now for the finishing touch. You just want to brush the top with a little bit of milk. Try and use whole milk if you can for this one. But, you know, a good semi-skimmed will be okay. And that will just give it a lovely glaze. And what we're going to do then is top each bit with a bit of cheddar. And that milk and that cheddar together will help the cheddar stick down to the top. And you'll get a really lovely kind of cheesy crust to it that will bake almost like a cheese on toast. It's really, really cool. So we're going to pop a bit of cheese on each one, which I can finish off in a minute. And then you're going to pop it in a preheated oven at 180 degrees C for 20 minutes. That's going to give you a really nice rise. They're going to go nice and golden, and you'll get that slightly kind of crispier bit of cheese on the top that it's not burnt, but it's got that, it kind of brings out this weird flavour to it. That's real, it's just full of that kind of, I guess what they'd call umami flavours. So yeah, I'll crack on with this, get these in the oven, like I said, 180 for 20 minutes, and I'll catch you in a bit. Okay, so 20 minutes later, we've got our scones, and they smell absolutely wonderful. Oh, some serious steam coming off. But there we go. Just take a look at them. You know, obviously they're not all completely perfect. This isn't, you know, Marks and Spencer's. It's not all going to be exactly the same. But that's kind of, to me, even better. It just adds that little bit of kind of you in it. Don't worry if you think looking at them, they look a bit too brown. Remember, you've put dark beer in here. They are going to be quite coloured, but they're going to taste fabulous. So all we're going to do now, transfer them to a wire rack and let them cool down. If you open at the moment, they are wonderful, but they are much more bready. What the cooling will do is kind of let them go back to that kind of crumbly scone consistency. So I'm going to let those cool, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so they've had their cooling time now. Absolutely beautiful, these. That was so lucky on timing as well. Just as I was finishing that last segment, architect turned up to have a look at the house, see what we can do. Maybe we can sort the kitchen out, get it somewhere a little bit bigger. Would be awesome, but we'll see how that one goes. So stick with me and you might see some changes. But as you'll see, there are now not 15, but they can confirm that they're pretty good. So they'll have cooled down nicely now, and you'll get them into a more kind of scone-like texture. Like I say, if you eat them warm, they are absolutely delicious, but they will be more bread-like. Now they're going to cool down and you're going to get more and more scone-like, which is great because it means for these, you can just make them the day before, leave them to cool, and they're perfect for kind of party food. You can eat them cold or just whack them in the oven for a couple of minutes just to heat them through. Really, really delicious. So I'll show you these. Break it open, you'll see that texture. Now it's cooled, has really gone to that kind of scone-like consistency. And there, they've just got this fantastic deep flavour to them. Absolutely perfect with a pint of beer, to be honest. I couldn't think of anything better to go with it. Great. Like I say, using the kind of dark beer, you're just adding more and more flavour in. Absolutely brilliant. So that's it for those. So I hope you give this one a go. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.